Starting in the 60s, Lewa was a cattle ranch. My parents, David and Delia, inherited it from my grandfather, Alexander Douglas. Come the 70s, we started realizing that the environment was changing. So we started running tourism. We started our first tourism project here on Lewa in 1972. And that was called Wilderness Trails. David and Delia ran it until the mid-80s. And mid-80s, they just got so busy that they were exhausted. They stopped the whole camp and built themselves a retirement home, which is now where we're sitting. Having a home in the middle of the bush with no one to stay got a bit boring. So they built one cottage and had a few people to stay, and the lodge has now grown from that. In '82 we started creating the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, and now the whole property, the whole original Lewa Downs, has moved to being owned by the Lewa Wildlife Conservancy. Instead of having 15 acres per cow, we are now 380 acres per tourist. We're now in excess of 120 rhino on Lewa, having started in 1982 with absolutely none. And the rhino project on Lewa is so successful that we're now moving rhino out into other projects around Lewa. Emma and I started here on the 1st of January 1990. Wilderness is our home. We brought our children up here, and now our grandchildren are starting to run around the place and cause mayhem. So they're 5th generation, and hopefully they'll carry on with the tourism. But the lodge is as much a home as it is a lodge or a hotel. Some of the staff here had been working with my parents for 20 years, and they continued on with Emma and I. We've had a team working with us since the beginning of that period who've gradually moved up the ranks. Karamushu was one of our trackers to start with, and now he manages the whole lodge. So it's really fun to be working with a crew that have been with us for 30 odd years. And it's incredible the people we've met, the people we've dealt with, and the people who keep coming back. My grandfather's legacy was leave room for the wildlife. And we've always taken that as a family, that legacy of leave room for the wildlife, to create now this Lewa Wildlife Conservancy and to extend it into the Northern Rangeland Trust, and to have communities surrounding wildlife succeed from conservation.